Hi, my name is Chris Lamunda. I am doing a video on my week's assignment. This is week 2, assignment 2, defining what model of financing we would promote. And so we were asked to talk about, if we were being interviewed, which model would we choose and why would we choose it. So in looking at 4 or 5 different models, the one I looked at this week that I felt was the most beneficial was the pay for performance. Simply in its discussion of its title, that you get paid for the quality of your performance you are able to give. This is associated heavily with the idea of measurable goals. And in those measurable goals, we're looking at things like patient outcomes, resources that are expended to get those outcomes, and patient experiences. How do I think we'll achieve these goals? Like I just said, simply stated, that in the definition of pay for performance, we ask that there are measurable, defined goals. That does bring up a little bit of an interesting idea in that how do you quantify things that are qualitative, things like patient experience and outcomes. Yes, survivability and not survivability is fairly easy to say, to put into numbers, however, not so easy when you're talking about things like patient's experience, how they felt about their care. But in the end, research is showing us that the better patients feel about their care, the better they actually turn out to be in their outcomes. So those two things are associated. How does this address cost and quality? So I think that this would greatly affect cost and quality purely by putting the mantra of I get paid and I get paid better with incentives if the quality of my care is improved. The quote came to my head was a famous bank robber from back in the 30s and 40s. They asked William Sutton, why did he rob banks? Because that's where the money is. So why would people choose to do better care? Well, because that's where the money is. And in the end, unfortunately, our society is based on that idea. Another piece that I think would help with the quality is that one of the other avenues of pay for performance, it really does promote collaboration. This collaboration would allow for less mistakes to be made, as we were reading and seeing a bunch about this week. The error factor in patient care is quite high in the United States, as well as around the world, but even higher here, and the consequences for that are fairly limited. I actually experienced that myself, and as I was going through that process, the only consequence is financial. There is no building into this better systems to make sure these mistakes don't happen. So if we do work more collaboratively, we'll have less mistakes, therefore care will be better. So in the end, I highly promote the pay for performance for the simple ideas that the better that I work, the more that I get paid. And by better work, we're talking about, in the end, our patients have better outcomes. And that, in the end, is what healthcare is all about. It's about our individual patients while considering the society as a whole. Thank you for listening. I added the text for this, obviously slightly different text, to look through as well. Have a good day. See you all later.